It is an interview you will only see on CBS News Bay Area. Antioch's police chief is opening up about the racist text message scandal that has thrown his department into crisis. And it comes as the city council is meeting at this hour to talk about the federal lawsuit just filed, accusing the city and police of civil rights violations. And it is the latest twist in an investigation that unearthed a trove of racist and homophobic text messages and some unsettling allegations that officers were congratulating each other for beating up suspects during arrests. The FBI discovered the text during a wider misconduct probe into the Antioch and Pittsburgh police departments. A federal grand jury is weighing charges that officers distributed cocaine and steroids and accepted bribes. This is having a major impact on the force and could taint countless cases the officers were involved with. Right now, 38 of Antioch's 99 police officers are on paid leave related to the text message investigation. And there's a lot of outrage from the community, as you might imagine. Many people wanting to hear from Antioch's police chief, Stephen Ford, about what he knew and what's being done to address this troubling culture. Well, he sat down exclusively with Katie Nielsen, and Katie's been following this text message stream when it was first made public. She joins us live now with the interview. So what did the chief say to you directly, Katie?
Juliet, he is in a tough spot because he is having to fight a battle that he did not start. Chief Ford was hired as the chief of police exactly 1 year ago today and was not with the department at the time those text messages were sent.
The Antioch PD will never be the same again, and that's not a bad thing.
We asked Chief Stephen Ford, a man whose parents came up through the civil rights movement, to read the text messages out loud.
This says, "I was bummed that Beast," and then it's blacked out, "was so fat because he didn't bruise up very fast."
Investigators say at least 17 officers were part of a text messaging group on their personal phones for years, where they would congratulate each other for intentionally hurting people during arrests and repeatedly used the N-word.
Well, it says, "I'll bury that in my fields."
The texts were sent over a 2-year span from September 2019 to January 2022. The FBI found them when the Antioch police officers' phones were seized during a federal drug investigation into steroid and cocaine trafficking and bribery.
It reads, "Bro, the circus is in town, but it seems they only brought monkeys."
And what about on page 10?
It says, "I see all the riots in LA. Then it says, "For the gorilla that died," reference to George Floyd.
How does it feel to read that?
It angers me. I'll be honest with you. It angers me. I think most people who know me, I'm pretty low key normally. It takes a lot to kind of get me going. But I would be lying if I said I weren't, very angry and frustrated with what I've read and seen over the past few weeks.
What's more, in the past year, Chief Ford worked with the majority of those officers in the small, tight-knit department.
You think, wow, I mean, I've worked with this person and I've trusted this person. We've been out here, as they say, on the street doing police work. And so it's very disappointing, very shocking.
These officers knew for, almost 10 years that personal phones are subject to search. Mm-hmm. How did they get to the point of being that, is it brazen, having the hubris to do that?
That's the $64,000 question. When any organization finds itself in this seat, there's two things that are apparent. There's been some neglect, and there's been a serious lack of accountability.
While new to Antioch PD, he's not new to law enforcement. Before taking the job, he spent 33 years at San Francisco Police. And yes, he was there during SFPD's racist, homophobic texting scandal back in 2013.
I've been down this road before. In San Francisco, we had some similar circumstances in my former organization. And so I feel well positioned at this point to move this work forward and get the work done and do what we need to do to get the organization back on track.
The chief says the department will spend the next few months and years reorganizing and soul searching.
We're doing a deep dive just to overhaul the psychology of the organization, get everybody kind of realigned in terms of what their role is. What are we here for? We have to redefine our purpose. Once we redefine our purpose, I think that'll help us recalibrate and get on track. But diversity, equity, inclusion training is absolutely essential. It's essential. We have it already. Obviously, we can do more of it.
If needed, the chief may call on surrounding agencies for help with patrol, including the Contra Costa Sheriff's Office, Pittsburgh, Brentwood, Oakley, or CHP.
I don't want to put the cart before the horse. I think the most important thing is, as we speak right now, the city is safe. We have the requisite personnel to keep the city fully manned and handle the calls for service. You know, but as we make those daily assessments, you know, we'll, you know, look at those possibilities. It's possible.
Is this department worth saving?
Absolutely.
Why not just go the direction of doing a contract with the Sheriff's Department, almost like Danville does?
I think this city is unique. You know, this city has some variables where it needs a strong, municipal, engaged police organization. I would like to think that the organization is salvageable. I've had those conversations. I've made it very clear that I think we should salvage the organization. I'm going to say point blank up front, the bulk of the officers in this organization have been great. They are hardworking officers. I don't want this to be an indictment on the entire organization. I don't think that's a fair assessment.
Well, I know this interview goes on even longer, and we'll continue to post that on our webpage. But Katie, I appreciate how honest he was, how forthright he was. He didn't hold back. But you have to kind of wonder, he is a veteran officer. He could retire. He could have his pension right now. So what keeps him motivated to fight this battle right now head on?
He really said that he feels this is his purpose. Coming up tonight at 7 o'clock, we'll hear more from him about the why behind his decision to stay and help with those reforms, and also how he plans to regain trust, not only inside the department, but more importantly, with the community.
Katie, I have to ask, as you were doing this interview, were you surprised how open he was, that he was even going to read those text messages aloud? You go into an interview not really sure what you're going to get, but I bet you were pretty amazed with his openness.
It was really, I think the best word would be powerful, to hear him speak so candidly about how this has not only impacted him, but also the department and the profession as a whole. And so I just really was moved by his willingness to be transparent through all of this in an effort to move the city forward.
Absolutely. Well, he trusted you with that interview, and we appreciate it. We'll see you at 7 o'clock and certainly have more of this on our webpage. All right, Katie Nielsen, thank you. All right, so the report named 17 officers, but at least 45 were on the text chain. We mentioned 38 of them have been placed on leave. So what happens next? Well, the officers are entitled to due process procedures set forth by the police union. They could be fired as a result, but there are a lot of steps between now and then. The federal civil rights lawsuit was filed last week on behalf of 5 people who claim they or their family members were targeted on those texts, including Trent Allen, who officers messaged about brutally beating.
Comments about my son's head was a bowling ball, that they kicked a field goal. These officers need to be removed.
This community probably should have been more afraid of the police than the gangsters or the criminals that were in their community.
The suit is seeking damages along with federal oversight and court monitoring of the department. The Antioch City Council has also approved 3 different audits of the department. They include looking at its internal affairs process, equity practices and culture, and how it hires and promotes officers. And there's an even wider fallout. Here, Contra Costa County's DA is reviewing a number of cases involving Antioch police that could be resentenced or even dismissed.